Miami police are investigating an incident involving boxer Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather sentenced for tax evasion. Goodbye forever. In a heart-pounding twist to the story of a sporting legend, the man once revered for his flawless boxing prowess now faces an unprecedented downfall. The arresting headlines have sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving fans and critics alike dumbfounded. In a whirlwind of shocking revelations, the once untouchable icon is now entangled in a labyrinth of accusations, FBI investigations, and alleged financial misdemeanors that have forever altered his legacy. As the saga unfolds, every whispered secret and encrypted file paints an intricate tapestry of a life built on fast money, fame, and a secret world that defied expectations. This is the story of an empire crumbling into dust. In a narrative that seems plucked from the pages of a best-selling thriller, the downfall of Floyd Mayweather has gripped the collective imagination of millions around the world. Once celebrated as the undefeated king of the boxing ring, Mayweather's name has become synonymous with a dazzling lifestyle, unyielding bravado, and an aura of invincibility that defied the rules of conventional wisdom. Over the course of his illustrious career, he built an empire that seemed impervious to both time and legal scrutiny. However, beneath the glitz and glamour lurked a set of complexities that were as explosive as they were intricate. The recent sentencing for tax evasion, punctuated by riveting revelations of secretive communications and discreet high-stakes operations, has thrust the former champion into a narrative that is as scandalous as it is intriguing. The dramatic events that have unfolded recently are nothing short of cinematic. An explosive investigation conducted by the FBI has unearthed evidence that suggests a deep and murky involvement in schemes that had the potential to shake the very foundations of the world of sports and entertainment. This investigation, which began with a routine audit of his financial activities, soon evolved into a full-blown operation, targeting some of the most carefully guarded secrets of Mayweather's personal empire. Investigators painstakingly combed through his personal phone, where they discovered an intricate web.
He don't have a Mayweather team. You know, like I said before, he's not even on the chessboard anymore. Like I said before, when you talk about Al Heyman, you talk about Mayweather Promotions, and you talk about us, we put people out of business. We put people out of business. That's what we do.
So in other words, everybody...
So Oscar De La Hoya is the same fighter that did like this. He came and got with us. He came and communicated with me and Al.
Of encrypted files, coded messages, and mysterious voice memos. These digital breadcrumbs have provided insight into a hidden side of the boxing legend, one that involved clandestine meetings and covert exchanges, hinting at an underground network of high-stakes financial maneuvering that existed parallel to his public persona. The explosive revelations from the FBI investigation have raised countless questions about the integrity of Mayweather's empire. Inside his phone were files that many experts believe to be highly significant, a treasure trove of encrypted communications that point to coordinated activities with a network of individuals who inhabited the very fringes of legality. Among these were references to secret events dubbed freak-offs, which appear to have been opportunities for networking among the elite and possibly served as cover-ups for more insidious financial operations. The voice memos contained within these files added a layer of gravity to the unfolding story, revealing raw emotions, anxiety, and what sounded like remorse. In one of these confidential recordings, Mayweather is heard saying, "I always believed in the power of a fresh start, but sometimes the truth comes too fast, faster than you ever expect." These candid admissions, recorded in the dead of night and later uncovered by meticulous investigators, lend an almost human vulnerability to a figure long seen as infallible. The financial ramifications of this scandal have been equally dramatic. Known for his lavish lifestyle, Mayweather's empire once boasted an almost mythical level of wealth. His daring ability to float multi-million-dollar wagers and invest in high-profile real estate ventures had long been the subject of envy and speculation among his peers. However, it appears that beneath the glamorous exterior lay a series of illicit financial maneuvers that ultimately led to his undoing. Court filings have revealed that years of alleged tax evasion and financial mismanagement have culminated in a staggering seizure of assets. The authorities claim that his financial downfall was not a result of one misstep, but rather a systematic and prolonged period of avoiding fiscal responsibilities that, when exposed, triggered a domino effect of
When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street, anything like that. Boxing is your thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't see just anybody on the basketball court playing against LeBron James. He won't do it. He doesn't have to. It's a waste of his time. You might see footages of Dwayne.
Bankruptcies and asset forfeitures. The speed at which the empire crumbled was as spectacular as it was unexpected, sending shockwaves throughout not only the sports world, but also the global financial community. This cascade of events was not merely the product of well-planned fiscal mischief. It seems that there was a psychological and emotional cost that compounded the financial ruin. The toll of secrets, betrayals, and the relentless pursuit of maintaining an image of perfection has left Mayweather in a state of profound introspection and vulnerability. In a series of private interviews and leaked recordings, the former champion expressed disbelief over the unfolding calamity. "I always thought I could control every aspect of my life and my finances, but there were forces at work that I could neither anticipate nor contain," he was heard confessing. These statements reflect the deep psychological scars left by years of living in a hyper-real world of flash and fury, where every mistake is magnified and every secret eventually finds its way to the light. Parallel to these revelations, another intriguing aspect of this unfolding drama is the reported association between Mayweather and high-profile entertainment mogul Diddy. Investigators have pointed to multiple digital exchanges between the two, which suggest that their relationship may have been more than just a casual friendship. These communications, shrouded in code and ambiguity, hint at collaborative ventures that were designed to mask risky financial experiments behind the dazzling veneer of exclusive entertainment experiences. It appears that these secret meetings were intended to merge the realms of sports and entertainment in ways that defied conventional norms, blurring the lines between business, art, and subterfuge. The ties between these two larger-than-life figures serve as a stark reminder that the worlds of celebrity and high finance are often interconnected in the most unexpected ways. Adding another layer of complexity to this saga is the public narrative surrounding Mayweather's claims of economic prowess. For years, he made bold assertions about his investments in high-value real estate, once even claiming the purchase of an astounding 62 buildings valued at over $400 million. These statements, touted as
Whipping him pretty good. I was not there. I did not see it. I do not know. Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff is
evidence of his financial acumen, and as symbols of the empire he had built, were widely circulated and contributed to an image of invulnerability. However, recent investigations have cast serious doubts on the veracity of these claims. Trusted sources and financial analysts have reportedly found no concrete evidence to support these transactions. This revelation has further tarnished the once impeccable facade that Mayweather had carefully constructed, leaving many to question not only the legitimacy of his financial operations, but also the extent to which public perception can be manipulated by carefully curated narratives. The storm of revelations has extended its impact well beyond the walls of the courtroom and the glittering facades of luxury estates. The story of Mayweather's sentencing has ignited a broader societal debate about the pitfalls of celebrity excess and the hidden dangers of financial opacity in the modern world. Academics, financial experts, and policymakers have all weighed in on the implications of this high-profile case, arguing that it serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of an unchecked lifestyle built on the foundation of fearlessness and deception. According to one noted economic analyst, when public figures lose sight of the rules that govern society, it opens the door to systemic issues that can have far-reaching consequences. The scandal has thus become a mirror reflecting broader challenges in how wealth is managed, regulated, and perceived in an era where digital transactions and encrypted communications reign supreme. At the heart of this maelstrom are the digital archives that have proven to be a veritable mine of hidden truths. Investigators painstakingly analyzed countless files on Mayweather's personal devices, uncovering layers of encryption that seemed specifically designed to thwart any prying eyes. The technical complexity of these security measures suggested not just an awareness of the legal risks, but also a deliberate effort to protect sensitive information related to operations that extended far beyond the boundaries of boxing. Recordings of hushed conversations, captured in the dead of night, portrayed a man caught in the grasp of a relentless web of secrets that he had built over decades. One particularly chilling.
I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up but it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with the daughter off of the fact that she kept Snapchatting me.
Okay.
She kept hitting me on the Snapchat. So they sent it to Floyd, and Floyd bugged out.
Okay.
So that's what made it like.
And you think that was a downfall of y'all career? I mean, y'all
No, it was a
relationship, not
downfall.
career.
Yeah,
relationship.
it wasn't a downfall of my career. I mean, my our relationship, because it was more things that he was doing. Like
He scheduled a fight, I think, during like your fight or something. I don't think they did it,
yeah,
but
stuff like that.
promoting.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But just little stuff that people wouldn't like catch unless like you see how like you quote a lot.
Recording captured the former champion remarking, "I always thought I was the master of my destiny, but sometimes the ghosts of the past come knocking and you're left with no defense." Such comments have only deepened the intrigue surrounding the case, inviting speculation about the myriad forces that conspired to bring down an icon. While the financial and criminal details of the case are making headlines, the emotional and psychological dimensions of the scandal are perhaps the most resonant aspect of the story. In exclusive interviews that have surfaced in recent weeks, those close to Mayweather described a man who had long carried the burden of his public image, a weight that ultimately contributed to his unraveling in the face of relentless legal scrutiny. Long accustomed to living in a world where every accomplishment was magnified and every misstep condemned, Mayweather's recent admissions paint a portrait of a man grappling with the fallout of decades spent in the glare of relentless fame. His unmistakable charm, once considered an asset, now seems to be tinged with the sorrow of a man who realizes that the relentless pursuit of perfection can sometimes lead to unforeseen consequences. "I always wanted to be remembered as a champion," he once confided in a rare moment of vulnerability. But the champions we remember are not always the ones who never falter. Sometimes it's those who fall and rise again that truly inspire. Such reflections have given his once untouchable persona a human dimension, resonating deeply with those who see in his struggles a reflection of their own fears and aspirations. The rapid disintegration of Mayweather's financial empire has raised significant questions about the reliability of the systems that many have come to trust. Once the poster child for self-made success, he now finds himself ensnared in a legal maze that seems to highlight the dangers of living beyond one's means. Court documents and financial filings paint a picture of a meticulously constructed facade where aggressive investment strategies and a penchant for elaborate financial maneuvers mask the underlying cracks in his business operations. These documents detail a series of transactions, audits, and legal maneuvers that not only expose the financial vulnerabilities of his empire, but also the lengths to which he went to protect his public image. The fall from grace has been so sudden and so complete that it has prompted legal experts to liken the situation to a carefully orchestrated performance, a performance in which the brightest spotlight eventually reveals every hidden flaw and error in judgment. Rumors and whispers of secret meetings and coded communications have become the lifeblood of an already feverish media cycle. Details of late-night rendezvous in luxurious, high-security locations have sparked the imagination of fans and critics alike. Reports suggest that even within the inner circle of his closest associates, there were pockets of knowledge about the covert operations that ran parallel to his public commitments. These clandestine meetings, shrouded in mystery and conducted with the utmost discretion, have been described by insiders as part of a broader network aimed at ensuring that every financial maneuver was carried out with a precision that left little room for error. The audio recordings recovered from his phone depict conversations where the line between personal remorse and calculated risk blurred dramatically, allowing listeners to catch fleeting moments of vulnerability that until now had remained hidden behind a veneer of confidence. Yet, amid the chaos of legal battles, asset seizures, and public disillusionment, there is an undeniable aura of tragic inevitability. that surrounds Floyd Mayweather's saga. The man who once reigned supreme in boxing rings around the world now finds himself at the mercy of forces that seem as relentless as time itself. It is as if every glittering facade he built was slowly, painstakingly dismantled piece by the very system he once outsmarted. In a final reflective statement that resonated with both regret and defiance, Mayweather remarked, "I believe that every fight was mine to win, whether in the ring or in life. But sometimes the battle isn't fought with fists, it's fought with the truth, and that truth can be too heavy to bear." These words, steeped in a poignant mixture of pride and sorrow, encapsulate the tragic dimensions of a fall that appears to have been as inevitable as it was explosive. Across social media platforms, bars and boardrooms alike, the discourse surrounding Mayweather's downfall has reached a fever pitch. Memes, analytical videos, and heated debates have swirled around the narrative, each piece of commentary adding fuel to an already raging inferno of public interest. The controversy has transcended the boundaries of celebrity gossip, becoming a subject of study for those interested in the dynamics of power, wealth, and the inescapable gravity of truth. Commentators have noted that Mayweather's saga is not simply a story of one man's misfortune, but rather a microcosm of the broader challenges of modern wealth management and the hidden perils of unregulated financial practices. The narrative has evolved into a stark reminder that the glories of past successes can be as ephemeral as they are dazzling once the truth comes crashing down. The secrets hidden behind layers of encryption and obscured by the sprawling digital archives of Mayweather's private communications have begun to reveal a story that is as complex as it is instructive. In these digital corridors, experts have found evidence of a deliberate strategy to stave off scrutiny, an almost obsessive need to build an insurmountable wall between public perception and private dealings. Yet, as the days have passed and the investigation has tightened its grip, every attempt at concealment has only served to heighten the public's fascination with the untold details of a life lived on the razor's edge of legality and extravagance. In one particularly striking audio file, the former champion used, "I always knew that behind every lock there is a key, and eventually, every key finds its way home, even if it means opening doors I wished would remain forever shut." This metaphoric reflection on the nature of truth and secrecy has captivated the minds of countless individuals seeking to understand how a man who once manipulated the odds with such brilliance could find himself entangled in a web of self-made downfall. As the legal proceedings continue and the courtroom becomes an arena where the past confronts the present, analysts have noted that the implications of this case extend far beyond the fate of a single celebrity. The Mayweather case, with all its intricacies and layered revelations.
I remember going to the Mike Tyson and the Mayweather,
Right.
where it was an event. And you
Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather Canelo,
Mayweather De La Hoya.
Yes, that was a big event too, but I will tell you, nothing was really bigger than Mayweather Pacquiao. We had waited so long.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it was 5 years too late.
Too late.
But we didn't know until after the fight
Right.
that it was 5 years
Right.
too late. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So leading up to the event, oh my God, it didn't get any bigger than
But
that.
you know the thing is, everybody that Mayweather fought, he
has ignited a broader dialogue about accountability, transparency, and the ever-pervasive power of digital technology in shaping public discourse. It has prompted questions about the ethics of wealth accumulation and the inevitable reckoning that follows when ambition is unchecked by prudent oversight. Though many aspects of the case remain shrouded in mystery, one thing is clear: the saga of Floyd Mayweather is emblematic of a broader societal shift, one where the veils of glamour and success are slowly being lifted to reveal the often harsh realities that lie behind every headline. The fall of Floyd Mayweather has undeniably become one of the most sensational and talked about events in recent history. The once untouchable figure, whose career was marked by epic victories in the ring and an image that inspired countless fans, now stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of human ambition. Behind every lavish celebration and every jaw-dropping prediction of financial genius, there existed a torrent of actions, both intentional and inadvertent, that eventually culminated in a reckoning. Mayweather's entanglement with tax evasion charges, the dramatic seizure of his assets, and the subsequent unraveling of his closely guarded digital archives have forever altered his public image. Every whisper of his once secret communications now serves as evidence of the complexities inherent in a life lived at the pinnacle of celebrity. His final statement before the sentencing resonated with an air of melancholy. I fought every battle with everything I had, but sometimes it isn't about how hard you hit. It's about how truth finds a way to catch up with you. In the midst of the courtroom drama and the ceaseless scrutiny of the media, an air of disbelief lingers among those who once idolized the champion. How could a man who defied every opponent in the ring find himself humbled by the unforgiving forces of legal retribution? Those close to Mayweather recall a time when he seemed untouchable, a man who had mastered the art of evading both defeat and accountability. The layers of his life, once carefully curated and projected as a beacon of success, have now been exposed, leaving a trail of broken illusions and a public that is as captivated by his fall as it is saddened by the collapse of a once glorious legend. Behind the opulent exterior and the meticulously orchestrated image of success lay the truth of human vulnerability. There is an undeniable air of sorrow in the revelations that have emerged, a sorrow that speaks to the sacrifices made and the burdens borne in the pursuit of greatness. In a candid moment captured on a now infamous recording, Mayweather admitted, "The battle was always bigger than me. I did what I thought was necessary, but when every secret comes to light, you're left with nothing but the weight of your own choices." Such introspections, raw and unfiltered, have sparked an outpouring of empathy from fans who see in his struggle the echoes of their own challenges. It is a poignant reminder that even those who appear to be invincible can fall prey to the complexities of life's relentless pressures. As the dust settles on this chapter of a once unstoppable phenomenon, the cultural repercussions of the scandal continue to reverberate. Experts on celebrity culture note that Mayweather's saga is emblematic of a broader societal reckoning, a moment when the myth of invincibility is stripped away to reveal the imperfections and vulnerabilities of even the most celebrated figures. The case has ignited debates among scholars, legal experts, and financial analysts alike, with many suggesting that it may well serve as a turning point in how we view the relationship between fame, fortune, and accountability. The unmasking of long-held secrets through digital archives and covert recordings has ignited a firestorm of analysis, each discussion more animated and impassioned than the last, delving deeper into the perplexing layers of Mayweather's network of operations. One cannot help but be struck by the intricate dance between brilliance and folly. His life, once celebrated for its explosive success, now offers a rich tapestry of lessons about ambition, recklessness, and the often unanticipated consequences of living life on the edge. Legal experts and financial auditors alike have pored over the details of his transactions and operations, offering nuanced interpretations of where the empire began to fracture. What emerged was not simply a narrative of financial mismanagement, but a broader commentary on the precarious
off that Business Insider was doing an investigation. So a member of his team spoke off the record, and they actually tried to modify the story a little bit to get ahead of it. So it went from "we own all the buildings with no partners" to now their story is changing up a little bit. So they reached out to the Housing Partnership, a spokesperson. Now, the Housing Partnership of NYC is a nonprofit group that is a partner in a majority of these like really huge like property deals. And it helps, the person buying it to qualify for tax breaks and grants and preserve the affordability of the portfolio apartments, right? If you're buying, affordable housing, then you're gonna go through the NYC Housing Partnership. That never happened, okay? So the spokesperson says the Housing Partnership has not been advised of any sale, pending sale, or change in ownership. Generally, the partnership will be advised of the transfer and will be party to the transfer. That has not occurred. A person directly
balance between unbridled ambition and measured accountability in an era defined by rapid technological evolution and unrelenting public scrutiny. In the midst of all the chaos, one constant element has been the voice of Mayweather himself, a voice that, despite the storm of controversy, has managed to offer moments of raw honesty amidst the elaborate theatrics of his public persona. In several candid moments recorded before the sentencing, he delivered messages that were part apology, part resignation, and part defiant hope for redemption. "My journey was a relentless pursuit of excellence," he declared in one unguarded moment, "but along the way, I lost sight of the very principles that once made me strong." These direct remarks from the man at the center of one of the most sensational scandals of our time have resonated with audiences, highlighting the intrinsic human struggle between maintaining a formidable public image and facing the stark reality of personal accountability. As observers attempt to piece together the timeline of events that led to this dramatic collapse, an emerging pattern of risk, secrecy, and ultimately, inevitability comes to light. The financial missteps, it appears, were not the product of a single act of defiance, but the culmination of years of creative maneuvering within a fragile system. Mayweather's empire, built on both his undeniable talent and his willingness to push the boundaries of conventional business practices, appears to have been a house of cards that was destined to fall when subjected to the weight of relentless scrutiny. Even as his legal team scrambled to navigate a labyrinth of charges and counterclaims, insiders whispered about the mounting pressure of keeping an entire lifestyle afloat on the shaky grounds of clandestine operations and dodged fiscal responsibilities. This multifaceted saga has not only redefined the narrative around one of sport's most iconic figures, but has also served as a grim reminder of the inherent risks embedded in a life of unrestrained ambition. Every encrypted file, every suspicious transaction, every whispered conversation in the dead of night has contributed to a mosaic of chaos that now captures the attention of the world. The legal battles continue.
But guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what? You can do the same. It's all about making power moves.
He would claim that he purchased 62 buildings worth $400 million. He would say the buildings is so plentiful and so many that he can't include all of them in the Instagram carousel. So, you know, just slide to see a couple of the buildings.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing like this because all of them. We're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on.
Continue to unfold, and each day seems to bring forth a new layer of intrigue, where past glories clash with present realities in a spectacle that is both heartbreaking and mesmerizing. Final chapters of Mayweather's storied career are being written now, in the cold light of accountability, a penultimate moment that forces even the most hardened fans to confront the dissonance between an image of invincibility and the fallibility of human existence. The cultural impact of this case cannot be overstated. It has sparked debates in boardrooms, living rooms, and online forums where everyday citizens as well as experts are forced to reckon with the consequences of a world where fame can mask underlying imperfections for far too long. The reverberations of Mayweather's sentencing have even begun to influence legislative discussions and financial regulations aimed at curbing the excesses of celebrity finance. It seems that in scrutinizing the downfall of an icon, society may find the impetus to address broader issues of transparency, accountability, and the need for a balanced approach in managing the intersection of fame, fortune, and responsibility. For those who had once placed unwavering faith in the invincibility of Floyd Mayweather, the journey from the zenith of glory to the depths of legal ruin is as painful as it is inevitable. This saga of betrayal and financial recklessness is a cautionary tale, narrative that speaks to the dangers of placing blind trust in personas that are as meticulously crafted as they are ultimately fragile. In the midst of the uproar, there remains a sense of tragic inevitability, as if the shadows of past choices and the silent toll of accumulated misdeeds have finally caught up with a man who once seemed beyond reproach. Yet it is not merely a story of downfall, it is also a story of reckoning, of introspection, and perhaps in the distant future, redemption. As the dust settles on what can only be described as a cataclysmic shift in the life of Floyd Mayweather, a stark reality presents itself. No legacy, no matter how exalted, can escape the relentless march of truth. The echoes of his youthful bravado, the thunderous applause of millions, and the billions accrued through daring gambles have...
I told y'all gonna stop listening, old boy. Now he done came out and put his young homie in his drawers on his thing. Is it to sell pay-per-views and then say it's some sugar in the tank? Or is it really just some salt and his old shaker?
Have all been overshadowed by the quiet, unyielding pulse of justice. The verdict on his financial transgressions is not just a legal milestone. It is a moment that redefines how we view accountability in an era where digital footprints and high-speed transactions leave no stone unturned. Reflecting on the unfolding drama, one is reminded that behind every public figure lies a human story, marked by triumphs and tragedies that ultimately converge into moments of profound transformation. The enigma that was Floyd Mayweather has been unspooled thread by thread before the public eye, exposing not only the man behind the myth, but also the intricate interplay of ambition, secrecy, and the stark reality of accountability. While debates continue and opinions remain divided, one thing is clear: the legacy of a once great champion has now been forever rewritten by the irresistible forces of justice and truth. Yet, as the final chapters of this enthralling saga are being etched in real time, there remains a glimmer of hope, a possibility that in acknowledging one's mistakes and embracing the lessons of the past, even the gravest of errors can pave the way for a future defined by growth and redemption. Mayweather's own candid remarks serve as a reminder that even those who seem invincible are not immune to the transformative power of introspection and change. His acknowledgement of the undeniable truth that every action has its consequence resonates as a call for all individuals, regardless of their station in life, to face their demons and emerge stronger from the crucible of their mistakes. Looking back on a life once marked by explosive victories and untamed ambition, it is now impossible to ignore the deep-seated irony of a man whose meteoric rise has been matched only by the dramatic speed of his downfall. In every whispered secret and every carefully concealed transaction lies a story of risks taken, boundaries overstepped, and an empire that, however impressive, was always built on the precarious edge of innovation and recklessness. Now, as the legal system administers its long-awaited verdict, the world watches with bated breath.
He was going at 50 for 50 taking more jabs about what he said on the late night show where he talked about his real estate stuff and he was saying Floyd was capping in. Floyd put up a bunch of information. And with this video right here from Fighters Corner, they even worded this in a way where they put words in Stephen A. Smith's mouth. No matter what I say about Stephen A., I ain't gonna come on here and spread nothing false about, bro. That's not what he said. He never exposed 50 Cent for, exposed Floyd Mayweather for going broke. He was just calling out the fact that Floyd was getting into the ring with any and everybody after the Gotti fight, and then it turned into the little brawl. He just was saying, hey, bro, I understand you getting money, you running it up, you getting your bag, you going to continue to get money, but you can't be just letting anybody get in the ring with you and stuff. But 50 Cent, he decided to use that as the opportunity to go back.
Contemplating the profound lessons that this saga holds for all who dare to dream and defy the odds. In the swirling maelstrom of opinions, analyses, and raw emotion that the case has provoked, one constant remains: the unforgettable impact of Floyd Mayweather's legacy. His name, once synonymous with impeccable success and unmatched skill in the boxing arena, now embodies a complex narrative of brilliance, tainted by the weight of unheeded warnings and financial misadventures. The transformation from revered champion to cautionary figure of financial excess has rendered his story into a living parable of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the relentless pursuit of glory at any cost. In a final introspective moment that has resonated across media outlets and online platforms, Mayweather stated, "Every life is a journey full of risks, and sometimes the risks we take lead us down paths we never imagined. I may have lost more than I ever dreamed, but I hold on to the hope that the lessons learned will serve as a beacon for others." These words, part resignation and part a call for accountability, encapsulate the tragic grandeur of his fall and underscore the poignant reality that fame and fortune are never truly permanent. As we bear witness to the dramatic convergence of past triumphs and present tribulations, the unfolding story of Floyd Mayweather stands as one of the most sensational and multifaceted events of our time, a story that challenges us to reconsider the very notions of legacy, responsibility, and the power of truth. In the final reckoning of an empire once thought eternal, the echoes of a lost champion remind us that every chapter of life no matter how triumphant, is inevitably bound to the inexorable forces of accountability and change. If you have found this riveting journey through the highs and lows of a true cultural icon as captivating as it is eye-opening, make sure to stay tuned for more updates as the story continues to evolve. And if you enjoyed this in-depth account of one of the most sensational sagas in modern history, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for exclusive insights, continuous updates, and even more explosive stories from the world of celebrity and high finance.